Hey, listen, fuckhead. Fuck, you can do whatever you want to do. You can put me on mute. You can turn the goddamn channel for all I care. What the fuck are you doing? And you're listening to us now. So obviously you didn't hit the fucking mute switch tonight, asshole.
Hello. Welcome to the Royal Grumble. I'm here with Daryl.
Hello.
And Dan.
All right.
I'm Graham, just for your information. And we're going to talk about wrestling for an undetermined amount of time. First thing I want to say, facebook.com/Royal Grumble. Go on there.
Give us a like.
Give us a like.
Shove your thumb up in that.
Please. Oh, splendid. That's a good start.
It's a lower tone from the start.
Of course. Well, you want to establish that from the beginning.
Yeah.
So that should establish it for pretty much anybody. We don't have a Twitter because Darryl don't like it.
No, I'm not a fan of Twitter.
Not a fan of Twitter.
No.
2 against 1 though, it'll be coming.
Yeah, we will have a Twitter eventually.
Although I did see Vader's penis on Twitter once.
I'm so glad I didn't see Vader's penis on Twitter.
He's got ginger pubes. I can confirm.
Specific, thank you.
Yeah, he took the picture of his penis. He laid on the bed, took a picture of his penis, and he had Ugg boots on. I'm not even making that up. And I'm not sure what I was more annoyed about: his limp, flaccid penis, or his dirty Ugg boots. But you think about it, what order did he do that in? Because he'd have had to take his Ugg boots off, take his trousers and pants off, then put his Ugg boots back on because his feet were cold.
He might have been wearing the Uggs as slippers.
But he still would have had to take them off, wouldn't he?
No, he came in his shoes and then he's got naked to hang around his hotel room, put on his Ugg boots as slippers while he went to the toilet or something because it's cold floor.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. I wonder if he had his mask on.
You didn't think about the cold floor theory. That's your problem.
Yeah,
You've not thought.
I was too busy thinking.
I thought
about
you thought
his
it through.
penis.
It turns out you haven't thought it through enough.
No.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about WrestleMania. Oddly enough, WrestleMania was this past Sunday. We'll talk about some of the other events and stuff.
Vader were at Hall of Fame. He didn't have his penis out.
Apparently, it's not PG. And the worst thing is, my next note is Daryl too long. Now that could be.
Yeah, we're not talking about Vader's penis.
That can be completely misconstrued.
Right.
So yeah, we'll talk about WrestleMania. We'll talk about some of the other events that were on around. Dan, you saw the Hall of Fame.
Yes, I did.
We all saw Takeover, I assume.
Yeah, I like Takeover.
At various different times, we all like Takeover. We all were together watching WrestleMania, which probably made it slightly more bearable. Would you say?
Yeah.
No,
I'd say it's no. If anything, worse for you.
Yeah.
Because you specifically don't like spending any time with other people.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to do 7 hours of anything, to be honest.
I'm glad we got that out of the way.
Of anything.
Literally.
So, like,
No, I'm with you on that.
yeah. So like, because you can get bored of people, to be honest. No offense, guys, but like 7 hours of wrestling is bullshit. Can I just point out?
Yeah.
I think that's the first swear word on the podcast.
That is the first swear. That's pretty impressive.
Because I used penis for
You
Vader.
did say penis, yes.
Which is
fair.
a biological term.
Biological, yeah.
Educational in a way. But yeah, anyway, so it started at 10 o'clock our time, didn't it?
Yeah.
And finished about 4:30.
Yeah. I mean, the thing
A bit
was,
later.
like, they advertised it as starting at 10 o'clock our time, and Renee Young, was it Booker T and Lita?
Yeah,
Oh,
the Dream
God.
Team.
Oh, God. I mean, why? You know, they've had decent panels before. Now, I don't have a specific problem with Booker T, and I think Renee Young is brilliant. The fact that she's still there is nothing short of amazing to me, and I cannot believe that they've not lost her to a better network. They inevitably will, but
She's shacked up, isn't she? So.
well, she
Just
is,
to kind of
but
like
that I mean that'll only last so long. I don't mean the relationship. You know, no offense, Renee. I mean, I'm not casting any aspersions here, but there's only so long that can keep you in the company.
Thing is, though, she gets on Sports Centre. She interviews a big basketball player, Dean Ambrose. You can do one, mate, because you got a big basketball player.
I'm so pleased that no one can see your hand gestures. It's.
Daryl,
I think it's safe to say that
what I was doing was, listeners, was I was rubbing my finger and thumb together and saying big basketball player because he's got a lot of money.
Obviously, of course you were. That made a decision for me because I was wondering, should we record this with a camera? Should we not? That's made a decision.
No.
So that's done.
fuck recording it with a camera.
Oh no.
I mean,
Living room's a
SAS,
state.
can't have my-
This is the thing though. It's all part of the same show. People who paid for it on pay-per-view got less viewing time, and yet somehow were better off because they didn't have to watch the first half an hour of. Although they did miss Booker T's Shucky Ducky Quack Quack.
Yeah, somebody made graphics for that. It said Shucky Ducky Quack Quack, then a little rubber duck appeared on screen.
That's been there for a little while.
It's like, but it is phenomenal that I said, "Oh, we're going to miss Booker T saying Shucky Ducky Quack Quack," and as we said that, not only did he say it, it appeared on screen. With, as you say, someone was paid to make a graphic of Booker T saying Shucky Ducky Quack Quack.
And you can just guarantee that Vince went, "Nah, it's not good enough. Do it again." So somebody's had to do it twice, really.
You can absolutely guarantee that. Right. It started off with. Well, I mean, I don't think.
I don't know, because like if we review this show, right, this podcast is going to be longer than the show.
Yeah, that's true.
And no one actually gives a fuck about Ryback versus Callisto.
No, that's true. As evidenced by the fact that I don't care if there was ticket issues.
Ryback's mum wasn't even in the arena at that point. Do you know, I'll give it a fucking miss. I like Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
When's Roman on? Can you get me Roman's autograph?
Bring Roman. Oh God, I've got to say, right? I had an email. I don't know if either of you had, from the WWE Network today, right? And it quite literally was a video of Roman Reigns. The title of the email was something along the lines of "Thank you from Roman Reigns. Thank you from WWE World Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns." Now, I don't want to question their clientele here, but if you're selling a network full of old wrestling to people, and you send them a video saying "Thank you from Roman Reigns," I don't know who went, "This will definitely work. This will make people like him." And it's in the video. It's about 1 minute, I'd say, and it's him holding the title, saying, "Thanks so much for signing up to the WWE Network to see my rise to glory."
Yeah, well, they did.
And I'll point out, when he won, spoilers, everyone cheered.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I was very tired. I don't remember that.
There's a question whether they cheered or whether they were just pleased it was over. I think a lot of that was. I
was happy I was going to bed.
Yeah, you literally spent the last half hour on your phone.
Yeah, to keep awake.
Just to keep yourself awake. It was far too long. Much like this extended intro that I've sort of done. I think we're beyond the intro at this point, aren't we?
Yeah.
Let's move
on. It was just ridiculous. It was like, no, as you say, nobody needs 7 hours of anything.
No.
I mean, we're not gonna break it down in terms of specific parts, as I think we've sort of established.
I just wanted to let everyone know, if they weren't sure, if they thought, "Oh, I like wrestling, I'm going to watch 7 hours of this in future," don't fucking waste your time. I'll tell you now, I didn't feel happy at the end of any match, so you just avoid it.
You say that, right? And I do believe that you believe that, except how many 1PW shows were you at where it probably lasted about 7 hours?
Okay, listeners, right? 1PW was a show, it was a wrestling company in the UK that I may or may not have had some involvement in. If you're owed any money, I weren't involved in any financial things, so don't...
Which, let's face it, most people listening to who know the letters probably are owed money.
Yeah, basically, like, they probably still owe people money, but I just used to go and, like, their shows ran, like, hours. I was happy at them, because I got to meet AJ Styles.
Fair enough.
I got to meet Samoa Joe. I got to meet Corey Graves. All the stars of the WWE I got to meet before they were stars.
Absolutely.
Adrian Neville.
Before he was even called Adrian.
Yeah.
Never mind Neville.
I'll tell you what I want to talk about WrestleMania, mate.
Go on.
Best thing about WrestleMania ever, right? Out of every WrestleMania, when they wear new clothes. Do you like at Christmas when your mum gets you like new pajamas or new pants?
Daryl, just to stop you, you've just completely changed topics.
Yeah, I know, but I just wanted to cut him off. I'm done talking about stars that we knew in past. I want to talk about new.
And the fact we've been at many old 1PW shows that went from 6 in the evening till like 1 in the morning.
Yeah, but they were good times.
To be fair, the next thing I was going to say was I don't want to talk about 1PW anymore, so I'm actually not that fussed that he sort of switched me over. But I'm going to contradict you on that, right? I do, or did, like that, like the new, until Ridermania.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah? Do you remember Ridermania, Dal?
Yeah, so...
No, I'm going to ask before okay. Do you remember Ridermania?
No.
Okay, so the reason you remember... Go on, tell us why you remember Ridermania.
Okay, listeners, me and Graham went to WrestleMania 29 in New York /New Jersey. and Zack Ryder got a special ring gear made, and it had like the New York skyline on it, and it said Ryder Mania on it on his bum, and and he never got to wear them at WrestleMania because he weren't on the show. Which I don't know, I quite liked that because I don't like Zack Ryder.
Yeah, I was quite pleased about that as well. But nonetheless, it annoyed me that he'd even got them made, and from then on, it's sort of soured my opinion on the whole thing. Yeah, it's just, speaking of which, I think that leads us quite nicely into the 7-man ladder match, which...
Spots.
Yeah, Spotfest. Like, I heard somebody, well, actually, I know who it was Dave Meltzer, said that was the best match. I was like, doesn't that say more about the card than anything else?
Dave Meltzer, who didn't get the pre-show Battle Royal at Wrestle Kingdom, he couldn't understand it and gave it half a star. He thought that was the best match.
Yeah, he said ladder match was the best match on the show. Said that, like, openly.
I mean, it was fine, but it was just spots.
So I'll tell you my favourite spot in the ladder match, right? And you'll never see this in any other ladder match. Do you know that one where they put that ladder that's not gimmicked across the ring and the crowd barrier, and somebody always just happens to lay on it, and then they get like thrown through it or something? That's my favourite spot.
And they get splinters in their arms because it's made of wood.
Yeah, fucking hate that spot. Every fucking time.
It's not even subtle anymore, is it?
No.
At one point, it would have been like, it would have fallen, or someone would have tried to slide it out of the ring. Now it's just, let's set this ladder up.
Yeah.
We set it up. Nothing's gonna happen.
Shall we try climbing this one, lads, for the belt? No, leave that one there.
But eventually though, one day, and I'm sure it's probably happened somewhere, eventually it's going to happen that they get the wrong one. Someone picks up the wrong one.
I can't fucking wait for that day. And I hope Zack Ryder tries to go through it.
God, right. I mean, we obviously found out the next night why Zack Ryder won. I mean, it was obvious from the minute that he held the briefcase.
But we thought Samoa Joe were going to come and knock him out.
I thought Baron Corbin was just...
I wanted Samoa Joe to come and beat him.
I did not expect that at all.
What did you expect to happen on the Monday?
On the Monday, I don't watch Raw, so...
Fantastic.
Oh, you're odd.
Listeners, we've got somebody talking about wrestling that doesn't watch like the #1 wrestling show.
I just watched the YouTube highlights. It's 3 hours long. I ain't got time.
If anything, that should pretty much give you an idea of what we're all about, really. Although, to be fair, this Raw I didn't watch all the way through. I recorded it and flicked through it, but I didn't watch all the way through. But essentially, after Zack Ryder won the Intercontinental title, what did you expect from that? Because anyone expected a reign any longer than a day, you're fooling yourself.
I expected more than a day.
Why?
Because...
Did you think he was going to make it past SmackDown?
Yeah.
Did you think he was going to make it to Payback?
I don't know why, because I've got hope.
I'm not even going to delve into why. I thought it was obvious that...
This is a man that had trunks made that had a big red button on the back on his arse and it said, "Push me."
Arse not bum, I noticed you changed that from when he was talking about Ryder Mania. He's gone more angry, you can tell. Increasing the profanity. It was obvious to me as soon as it's Zack Ryder who wins. The only thing that surprised me about the whole Intercontinental title situation across the 2 days was that he dropped it on Raw to The Miz. Not because I have a problem with that. In fact, if anything, I'm happier with that than I would have been with a lot of people. But I was expecting this was going to be their excuse to bring somebody. Like, I understand why you, Daryl, said Samoa Joe, because that brings an immediate star in and gives them a title straight away to sort of legitimise them. My thought was it's going to be Baron Corbin because he won the Battle Royal at WrestleMania. I thought he would come out and say, well, I won at WrestleMania too. Why don't we have a match? And obviously it turned out to be The Miz, which, by the way, brought back Maurice, which could be fantastic. Because I think...
She's cracking, is Marie.
She is absolutely brilliant. Like...
She's my favourite diva.
I have an issue with this.
Oh, okay.
Because the best part about The Miz, and I know you two are instantly looking at me thinking, what do you mean the best part of The Miz?
No. I like The Miz. I'm gonna get that on record.
Miz is one of the only people who legitimately gets booed.
Yeah.
And he's a legitimate bad guy, and having a ridiculously hot woman next to him, even though it is his wife, it doesn't matter what she does, she'll get cheered. She's not in even Marie territory because she's not trying to wrestle. So it doesn't really matter unless they do something to like Sami Zayn or someone who's popular. I can't think of any examples, but
That's because
it's
nobody's
gonna,
popular.
yeah,
Oh,
it's gonna take the focus off the fact that the Miz is genuinely hateable.
Didn't Maurice get booed though when she were Divas champion? Back
Well,
in the day?
she definitely did when she was Divas. Sorry, I interrupted. I thought you were going to talk about it on Raw Monday night because obviously she got cheered because she was any sort of person that anyone recognised. So it was that crowd. Now we've been part of that crowd. Did you go to the Raw after WrestleMania, Dan? Because you were at WrestleMania 25, weren't you?
Yes, I went to the one when it was they did the triple. It was the 6-man tag of Legacy versus Vince, Shane, and Batista.
Yeah, that was actually quite good. I quite enjoyed that. Like watching it on telly, I imagine. But was that because I get sort of a little bit shaky on this sort of thing? Was that one of those crowds? If you get my drift, was it a very sort of because when we went, obviously we were the sort of slightly infamous.
Shall we stop beating about the bush? The kind of crowds that chant "We are awesome."
Yeah, which was sickening. But it literally happened half an hour into Raw, which is just absolutely disgusting.
You can all have a laugh in your own time, but when you're at a wrestling show, just play along. don't chant "We are awesome." Just like boo the bad guys.
Yeah, I agree with that to some extent. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say exactly what you said, but as soon as you chanted "We are awesome," you don't deserve to be there.
You're not. I'll tell you now.
Anyway, Daryl and I were at the infamous sort of post WrestleMania 29 Raw, which is the one
that started it all.
Well, it feels like that to me, and that's why I was sort of asking Dan.
At ours, it still was like a big portion of international fans and stuff, and the crowd were a bit louder.
We were in the daft thing is when I saw people talk about it afterwards, they were like, "What a great crowd! What a fantastic!" I was being sat there behind the Chelsea fan, and he probably won't listen to this, but I really hope he does. Who was like, I think. I don't even know what he was doing on you, but yeah.
He was acting the cunt.
There's the first one.
Yeah.
Ding. If we could get a sound effect, definitely add that in. When he was in front of people, literally standing up in front of people, waving was it Adelaide United flag as well?
Yeah.
Adelaide United flag wearing a Chelsea shirt, which let's not even go there. And a bloke behind him, quite respectfully said, "Hey buddy, could you sit down?" Literally turns around and goes, "Fuck you, mate. Fuck you." Apropos of nothing.
Yeah.
The guy told him to sit down. Frankly, he could have told him to do a lot worse considering the bloke's behaviour. And that was pretty much representative of most of the crowd, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, I quite enjoyed seeing Dolph Ziggler win the title.
Yeah,
at the time.
I love the title change.
At the time, we'll get back to that probably. If not today, then definitely another day. But that promoted that crowd, didn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like that was the first sort of
Because they got what they wanted.
It was the crowd. Was it your crowd as well that sang Fandango's entrance?
Yes.
Yeah. So again, another thing that loads of people are like, "Oh, that's so crazy and spontaneous." And the problem with anything crazy and spontaneous is, what did WWE do straight away? Oh, that was crazy and spontaneous. Let's foster that crazy and spontaneous thing in a controlled environment, which always works. They've got this terrible habit of finding these when actual spontaneity happens. They just try and put it into its own sort of box. But to get back to my point, which I think we were making about 10 minutes ago about Miz and Maurice, I disagree with you because I think aside from Monday, where obviously it's that smarky crowd where they'll just cheer anything that they sort of recognise or anything that they think is kind of almost just working the opposite of what people want, I think Maurice is a good enough heel that you pair her with Miz, who is, as you say, probably one of the few genuine heels they've got. I think it could be a working combination. I'm just surprised that they didn't use that match, like the inevitable loss of Zack Ryder, to elevate somebody new, like Baron Corbin or somebody. I've not got a problem with it. That's just pretty much.
Baron Corbin's doing the thing with Dolph Ziggler.
Oh yeah, which totally elevates him. Yeah, you're right.
Let's talk about your Dolph Ziggler hate, because my opinion on him is he's a good workhorse.
Oh.
Like he's a good. He can have really good matches. Like last year, all the pay-per-view openers he did and stuff. In general, they were great matches, and he does have something there.
Right. His character is, I have the best matches. Your character shouldn't be, I want to have the best matches. Your character should be, I want to win. See Brock Lesnar, right? He isn't going out there going, I steal the show every night. Other than WrestleMania, he does steal the show because he's a mentalist.
I will go against that by saying Shawn Michaels.
What about Shawn Michaels?
What about Shawn Michaels?
The showstopper, Mr. WrestleMania.
Yeah, and did he win?
Not every time.
Did he beat Ric Flair?
Yeah, he beat Ric Flair, but then he lost
He could have had the
Undertaker.
best match and just laid down, but he went, no, fuck it, I'm going to retire because you're old. Sorry, I love you, and kicked him in the head.
I think.
I mean, there is a big difference between Shawn Michaels and Dolph Ziggler.
He was the showstopper, the main event, the Icon, right? And he wouldn't job to Bret Hart, and he sent him packing.
Excellent. I think just to really emphasise this, for the very fact that you brought up Shawn Michaels in a conversation about Dolph Ziggler offends me, but he's just the worst. I agree with Daryl in terms of his character, but I think that there would be an argument to say that that's a problem with WWE as a whole, because you've literally got Road Dogg going on Twitter saying wins and losses don't matter and such. But Dolph Ziggler goes beyond that. His Twitter handle is no, it's not hashtag, obviously. His Twitter handle is Heel Ziggler. It's heels. He's the most business exposing fuckwit on the whole roster.
He's a babyface now. So
And
joke's on him, really.
He's a babyface. He's the good guy, and he's calling himself hashtag heel. Double denim. He wears.
I think we should do a show on wrestling fashion. To be honest, you just brought up double denim.
Oh jeez. How can
Michael PSAs will be a big feature.
Do you know, I've literally got a list of reasons why I don't like Dolph Ziggler. And
wait, he's got it laminated as well.
I'm gonna break it up. Well, for obvious reasons.
Because it's wiped clean.
You're awful. Speaking of awful, why Dolph Ziggler's awful, right? Turd offense. All his offense is awful. It looks like he comes across as a guy who wants to pretend to be a wrestler. His offense, his finisher, he jumps up and gives himself an angle slam. That's his finisher. What's his other finisher? Sleeper hold.
Famouser.
Oh, yeah, the Famouser. Because, who you want to copy your moves off is Billy Gunn. That's where you want to take your inspiration.
The great powerlifter.
The one Billy Gunn. No. Mr. Ass Billy Gunn. Because let's not forget that Dolph Ziggler walks out and shakes his ass on the stage. Because that's the second thing you want to be taking. He's taken more than one thing off Billy Gunn and thought, yeah, that's a character. Nothing he does looks like it hurts. I can't. None of his super kicks like that are connected.
Right.
They put a super kick in a film.
Does he want to do another fucking super kick in a match?
Oh God! It's 10 minutes of super kicks. The funny thing about that is he was in that Intercontinental title match. We could probably do a super kick count in that match, considering there's him and Kevin Owens, who I have some issue with, but I don't have to get to that right now. And then later on in the show, they have Shawn Michaels coming out to do a super kick. Which one do you think people cared about more? Now, obviously, Shawn Michaels is a far bigger star, but if you've got somebody doing 11 super kicks in the first match, is it the best idea?
If you want to see super kicks, I can show you some Young Bucks.
I think there's a very large difference in the psychology there, and I think that's something that people who don't like the Young Bucks don't get. I'm not an indie wrestling fan anymore in the same way that I was a little while ago, but the psychology of the Young Bucks doing many super kicks is vastly different to Dolph Ziggler. Because Dolph Ziggler just does them because he thinks they're cool, because he thinks he's cool. Denim. I think I've talked about double denim already.
What you've done is you've doubled down on double denim.
Well, exactly, because I think it's doubly important. I've got a note here that literally just says noodle-headed fuck. I think that speaks for itself. I don't even think I need to explain that one. And let's not forget, 90 days. Dolph Ziggler, when he destroyed the Authority and he had that. I mean, he had a decent moment in Survivor Series. A month later, the Authority was back in power, and the best line that they could think to give him when they were all getting sacked was, "How long do you think you should be suspended for?" And he just defeatistly, like he didn't give a fuck, just 90 days. Who's buying into that guy as somebody who can take down the Authority, even after he's literally done it? As soon as he said that, it's like, I don't believe in you anymore. Now there's an issue with the writing there, but it infuriates me, and I've wasted a good chunk of this time talking about somebody who I genuinely hate.
I will point out that we have been talking for about 25 minutes and we haven't even really touched on WrestleMania yet.
Well,
because it was shit. maybe that might be why. Right, here we go. Dean Ambrose. He meets Mick Foley. Mick Foley says, "Oh, don't get Graham started on Mick Foley," because that's another podcast.
Yeah.
But anyway, he meets Mick Foley. Mick Foley goes, "Oh, do you want this barbed wire baseball bat, mate?" And Dean Ambrose is like, "Yeah, I think I fucking have that. Cheers." Right, so he has it. Then he meets Terry Funk, and Terry Funk's like, "Oh, I used to be Chainsaw Charlie. Do you want a chainsaw?" He's like, "I'll fucking have a chainsaw, yeah." Because he's Brock Lesnar, I need a chainsaw. Now, I didn't expect him to chop his head off, right? But it comes to WrestleMania, he gets chainsaw out. It don't fucking work. It doesn't work.
That's because Finn Balor used it all up on Friday.
Exactly.
Used all
What a
the gas.
twat. What a twat.
I don't have as much of a problem with that, but
Well, I wanted him to chainsaw the table in half.
yeah, see, that would have been fair.
I thought he was going to chase Paul Heyman about.
Yeah, just do something like that, but no. And then he gets barbed wire bat out, like sort of like licks it or whatever he did, and then that's about it.
The odd thing about that match is I have a couple of problems with it, but for completely different reasons. Like, I was annoyed they made the match in the first place, not in the sense that I felt like the Wyatt match would have been better, because it clearly wouldn't, but every time Dean Ambrose came to have a fight with Brock Lesnar, I didn't believe anything he did, because generally his offense looks all right compared to other people, but on Brock Lesnar he just looked, I didn't buy him as a threat. But they made the match. I'm not saying he should have won, but he got 5 minutes of offense with weapons, he got lobbed into the chairs, and that was it.
Yeah.
I didn't think they should have made the match to begin with, but if you're gonna make the match, do it properly.
And the thing is, Brock Lesnar's our favourite wrestler as well.
Absolutely.
I don't know about Dan's favourite wrestler, but he's our favourite wrestler.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is Brock Lesnar your favourite wrestler?
I don't know.
Oh,
So,
good talk.
I couldn't tell you who my favourite wrestler is on main roster, because...
To be fair, I got asked this not long ago who my favourite wrestler was, and I literally couldn't come up with a name. And now that you mentioned it, it's obvious. Of course, it's Brock Lesnar.
Because he's just mint. He just lobs everybody about. Does what he wants.
Yeah.
He decides he's going to come into work and just jog on spot and do pull him and talk, and then that's it. That's his day done. He just does what he wants.
He is the epitome of what like a wrestler should be.
Yeah.
Because he's massive, right? He has good matches, but he has the matches he wants to have.
Yeah.
He turns up, he gets paid, does what he wants, and leaves. And if like Dolph Ziggler is never going to be in that position, even if somehow
Fucking hate Dolph Ziggler.
Even if but it bears repeating, because even if Dolph Ziggler went away, say Countdown becomes the greatest movie of all time, the biggest success of all time.
It's got Rusev in it. Actually, Rusev's probably my favourite.
Fair enough, I can see that. But like, say Countdown becomes the greatest success of all time, and he gets a massive role in some film, and he goes away for a little while, and he comes back, I still guarantee you that Dolph Ziggler would have the same type of matches that he would be having, despite the fact that he'd made loads of money. Now that won't happen, but to me that's the psychology of Dolph Ziggler, and that's why I hate him.
Okay. I thought we moved on from that.
No, I'll literally never have moved on from that. Never.
Anyway, I can't remember what point we're making, but Brock Lesnar's meant.
Yeah,
that's
he
what
is,
I wanted
yeah.
to put
Well,
out there.
we talked about the Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose thing. You said about the chainsaw. I've not got too much of a problem with the chainsaw thing, because there was no way he was going to chop his arm off with the chainsaw. But I do agree that having him chainsaw through the table would have been a better idea. You had a point to make about. No, I don't know if that's more into Takeover. Whether we should talk about.
Let's carry on WrestleMania first. We could bring up the whole Divas to women's title thing. Get rid of the Divas title and make it the women's championship, which is a great thing.
I think it's
been a long time coming. And then the women's match is probably my favourite match on the card.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a rare occasion where, well, so far, from what we said, where I absolutely agree with you and Daryl completely disagrees with both of us.
I went happy at the end of any match. Like, I literally was watching that show and going, this is wank after every match. And like, obviously, I do like wrestling, but I don't like wrestling.
Yeah.
But like, usually at WrestleManias, I'm a bit more Mr. Positive.
Mm-hmm.
I like one match. I didn't like any, but if you guys can talk about women's match, because I'm doing.
I'll argue with that again, because the women's match was definitely the one you were most interested in. For when I pointed out Becky Lynch had kind of poked out of her top a little bit, and then for the rest of the match, you were sat forward, glued on the screen, going, "I think Charlotte just slipped out too." And
Are we literally going to go from that comment to talking about how it's great that WWE are respecting women?
I'm going to step out the female wrestling ring, and I'll let you two ladies talk about the women's title thing.
Yeah, well, it's not only the women's title thing. They've moved all the women over to the Superstars page. All the wrestlers are on one page together now.
So
as Superstars.
that means when I want to have a little cheeky tug, I've got to scroll through John Cena to get to like Sasha Banks.
I guess so. Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna put me off.
Will it really?
I'm literally trying to think now who's directly before Sasha Banks on the roster, and I hope it's someone like Roman Reigns, just immediately before.
Just to get me started.
Just to get you started. I've never been a huge fan of women's wrestling, probably because I've only ever really watched WWE. But I thought the women's match was the best match on the card. I enjoyed it more than anything else. I really like... Basically, this is what... You know when they were all on about the Divas Revolution? This is pretty much what they should have done. And it took them, 6 months?
9 months.
9 months
Yeah.
to actually do it properly.
I mean, if you watched NXT over the last few years, you know how good the women are in that company. And all they needed was women who could wrestle and give them a bit of time and let them do it. I mean, even Natalya, who's kind of been stuck doing shit for years, she had that really good match at Roadblock. She's going to have a rematch with her next month, probably. That'll probably be another good match, because Natalya is also pretty good, despite the fact on Total Divas she's a car wreck.
Everyone on Total Divas is a car wreck, though. Everyone who's not... Who's the dog?
Josie.
There you go, the dog.
Josie and Eva Marie's husband, Jonathan, are the two best things about that show, and Jonathan's not even on it anymore. It was a sad day.
See, I should clarify, Daryl, because you're looking at me funny.
Yeah.
When I say the dog, I do literally mean a dog, not what you're
Yeah,
probably...
Daniel Bryan and
Big
Brie Bella's
sexist.
dog, Josie, is one of the best things of the show.
But, like, I think the problem, and a lot of people have pointed this out, but I think it bears repeating, is that when they started the whole Divas Revolution thing, they were trying to serve two masters. They were trying to have the Divas side, the flashy E-entertainment type side, whilst also presenting a serious women's division. And I think now, if they are really making the decision to present a serious women's division, then I think that's great. I really like the title. I like the way it was done. I'm actually pleased. Something I considered afterwards was the way they've done this sort of thing so far is they've had Stephanie come out and present women, and if you're presenting her as also the biggest bitch on the show, it's probably not the best idea to have her as the babyface representative of the women. So to have Lita come out and reveal the title worked a lot better.
Yeah, well, Stephanie was busy preparing for her Tina Turner in Mad Max 2 impression. But yeah, the whole thing, like having Lita do it, apart from Lita could do with bullet points when she does a promo, because she rambled a little bit, not to bitch too much. But yeah, it just needed people who could work and give them time to work, rather than saying, here's 2 minutes, here's 6 of you in one match, try and do something.
Do you mean we're not going to get any more chocolate pudding matches?
Not quite, but I mean, Eva Marie's still knocking around.
You can still find them,
So
but they're not on WWE television.
And I don't want to be one of those people that bitches on Eva Marie too much, but she is terrible. She's getting better, but she's still kind of terrible.
And yet, I'll jump in there and say that she is much closer to an actual heel than half the roster.
Yeah.
Who's more of a heel, her or Dolph Ziggler?
Oh, well, only one of them's got heel in their Twitter handle, so that should give it... Oh, no, Dolph's supposed to be a babyface. Oh, he's so plucky. Oh, don't even just... Oh.
Are there any other high points from WrestleMania you want to talk about?
I think it's mostly low points, really, isn't it? We should
Any other low points you want to
find
talk
more
about?
low points.
The Hell in a Cell match?
What I will say about the Hell in a Cell match, right, for as much as the first, 20 minutes or so were just slow and weird, like basically two blokes who want to look like they're doing MMA, but really aren't doing MMA at all. When Shane climbed up, we all knew what was going to happen, and yet I still sat there going, just don't do it. Don't do it. I mean, fair play to him. The guy's like, he's not even been in the WWE for what? How long did they say? Did they say like, I think it would have been about 2006, so it would have been...
No, 2009 he was fighting with Legacy, weren't he?
Oh, was that 2009?
Yeah.
You went to WrestleMania 25 and he would at the Raw after that, weren't you?
Yeah.
So that means 2009. So it's probably... I think they did say 7 years, didn't they? I mean, you know what to expect, really, when he turns up. You know he's going to lob himself off something which, considering he's quite literally the son of the owner, he doesn't have to do. So I don't really have a problem with it. But even though I knew it was going to happen and I knew he was going to have to do it, some part of me still went, don't do it. So I was engaged at least, which is more than I could say for a lot of matches. So the only problem with it was, once that spot's over, well, where do you really go from there? So...
About the finish.
Yeah, exactly. And they didn't. They went for another, 5-10 minutes?
No, it was... From there, it was just like Undertaker looking at him like, just, what are you doing? And then he pretty much dragged him in the ring, tombstoned him and pinned him.
Okay, 5 minutes. It should have been 10 minutes because they're both very, very slow and very, very tired. I'm hearing rumours that Undertaker isn't going to come back.
This is what I wanna. This is what I'm annoyed about, right? So, I mean, not that I'm annoyed about anything else, but so
You know
before
about anything else?
no, it's not me, mate. Mr. Positive. So, before WrestleMania, it's like, oh, if Shane wins, he gets control of Raw. If Undertaker loses, he can't wrestle at WrestleMania again, right? Undertaker won.
Yep.
So that means Shane doesn't... Listen, listeners, Shane will not get control of Raw. That won't happen. And Undertaker, he can wrestle again. Then at the WrestleMania after party, apparently he's going around telling people, yeah, I've probably done wrestling now. Because he left his gloves in the ring. Which, if you remember that Mark Henry thing where he leaves his boots in the ring, apparently it's a symbol.
I didn't even notice that.
I know, he took them off. And then I've watched it back since. Because I thought I made it up in my head. He does take them off and believes them in ring.
No, fine.
But obviously you're not really paying much attention because you've just seen somebody lob himself off top of a cage. So why would you be bothered about him taking his gloves off?
Especially considering it's like halfway... Well, actually it wasn't halfway through the pay-per-view, but... No, in fact it was towards the 5-hour mark, I would say.
Yeah. So that happens. And then next night on Raw, stipulations don't matter, guys. Because... Shane, do you just want to have control of Raw? Yeah, I think I do, Dad. Yeah, please, if that's alright. Yeah, it's fine. Just do what you want. Well, I just do what I want anyway. We've just had the biggest WrestleMania ever, so I'm fucking off home. Because I know this is going to be shit.
No, mate, actually, I think you find Vince just wanted to see what a train wreck was going to be, so you've definitely got that wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
So we invest in WrestleMania, and then it's just backwards. They should just have Shane win. Fuck it.
And then the title match was just... I think we were pretty much asleep by that point, and then everyone cheered after booing him. Everyone cheered Roman Reigns winning for a few seconds, and then went, "Oh no, we're supposed to boo him," and carried on booing him, and that was the end of that.
If we're talking about like cheering and then supposed to boo, I thought the reaction for John Cena was brilliant. I was so pleased about that. And
it was the same as Royal Rumble when he made his surprise return.
Yeah.
Everyone cheered like fuck. It was like, yes, John Cena's back. No, wait, we're not supposed to like him.
I think this time though, I think it was different. There was an element of that, but I don't think after they realised who it was, I don't think there was a shift to booing. I think there was just a shift to that sort of John Cena sock song, and I don't think there was a lot of booing when he was actually in the ring either. Just because for a start the show was so long by that point that they were probably happy to see anything that was remotely different. And also, these people hate Roman Reigns so much and don't like the way he works that I think by this point someone like John Cena, they start to realise they didn't really know what they had.
Yeah, workhorse like John Cena.
Yeah,
I'd
actually go along with that.
Yeah. They realised that Roman Reigns is shit.
The title match was just, I mean, the only thing that anyone popped for, apart from the first 5 minutes when they were deliberately sort of cheering for Triple H and booing Roman Reigns, plucky Triple H, the son-in-law of the owner who is heavily involved in creative, who he represents the wrestling fans, was when Roman speared Stephanie. So in the same night that they brought back the women's title and they were saying, women matter again, they were also having man on woman violence. So,
or equality.
Is it though?
She got into the ring, accidents can happen.
Is that your motto?
Yeah.
it's not that I've got a specific problem with it. In fact, if anything, I think more of the problem I have with Stephanie is that she gets loads of heat and then there's no payback for it. But I do find it interesting that WWE is quite willing to contravene its own sort of corporate guidelines in an effort to try and get Roman Reigns cheered.
Vince McMahon told Shane he was going to kick his fucking head in, so...
Yeah, but he doesn't play by any of his own rules, though. He makes all his own rules and then flagrantly breaks them, calls the title about, swears on air.
He's a mentalist.
He's
an actual mentalist. And that's a fact.
Yeah.
Like, he's crazy. Yeah, let's not forget that Vince McMahon is the man that wanted to do a storyline where he pretended that he'd had sex with his daughter and then became the father of his daughter's child. But his daughter was actually pregnant with Triple H's baby. Let's
not forget as well, on a related note, you remember when they did the whole Vince's illegitimate son thing? He got to do it a little bit he got to do a little bit of incest for 5 minutes, because in that storyline, the very last thing, literally, right, for maybe not quite as long as 5 minutes, but for 2 minutes of that storyline, you remember they eliminated people from the ring, Sandman forgot to leave the ring, and eventually the last person left in the ring, who must be Vince's son, was Triple H. And his first line was, "If you're my son, then that means that you and Triple H had to cut him off and say, I don't like it any more than you do." So he got his little snippet of incest in there before Hornswoggle ran out and Triple H peed his pants.
He wants it, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything more to be said about the insane Vince McMahon.
Well, Vince is friends with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's made loads of weird comments about his daughter. He's just fitting in.
It's just, they're all part of the same billionaires who want to...
The crazy-haired Billionaire Incest Club.
It's not quite as catchy as Bullet Club, is it?
If somebody wants to make us a T-shirt with that on, then we'll sell it.
By all means, I will sell it and give you 100% of the profits. I don't care.
I've
done that for you.
I quite like to make money off this podcast.
You are in it for the money, aren't you? Because this is the way to make money.
Yeah, I want a pro wrestling tees. They do a podcast T-shirt.
What else from WrestleMania have we got to talk about? Like
The Rock.
The Rock has got to be... Yeah, go on.
Oh, The Rock, that wound me up so much, because it was like 10 to 4, and that's the time when, 4 o'clock's supposed to when the pay-per-view cuts over. You're allowed a bit over and fine. But the WWE go to The Rock. You're a massive star. You're allowed to do whatever you want. So he goes, whatever I want. All right then. I want the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. I want a flamethrower. I want my name in giant flammable letters so I can set it on fire. I want to announce the attendance, and then I want to break the record for the fastest match in WrestleMania.
Does what he wants.
So the co-main event of WrestleMania was actually Eric Rowan versus The Rock.
Yeah. But
does any of that seem slightly ridiculous?
Do you know why? Right. I get why you're annoyed about it, but I'm sort of alright with it. I wasn't alright with it at the time because it extended the show by another, 45 minutes?
Felt like an hour.
Like 45 minutes, maybe an hour.
It was same as last year, but last year at least had the payoff of Ronda Rousey. This year had the payoff of the Wyatt family and Eric Rowan getting pinned in 6 seconds and John Cena coming back, which people kind of expected to happen at some point this weekend.
Well, there you go. At least it brought John Cena back, which, by the way, I called at the time after we all agreed that he wasn't winning the Battle Royal. But frankly, if he's going to walk in and say, this is what I want to do, and they're going to let him do it, why shouldn't he?
Oh yeah, it's fine, but at 10 to 4 in the morning.
To be fair, yeah,
See,
at that point in time.
Yeah, 10 to 4 in the morning, and he's there just hanging around all these cheerleaders, setting his name on fire, and you just like, fucking get on with it. I'd actually want the main event by that point.
It was far too long.
I quite enjoyed him setting his name on fire.
Why?
Because he's Rock, innit? Does what he
Also,
wants.
if he had that flamethrower, why didn't Dean Ambrose go and get that earlier on? And
That's a good point.
it's like, well, the chainsaw
but
didn't work, but I've seen The Rock, and he's got a flamethrower, so I'll just borrow his flamethrower. Be
But
right.
if you say that, like, if you're in a street fight, you just get a gun out, don't you? So you can't really... Well, there's a flamethrower backstage.
You can't get into the arena, though. Can't get a gun in the arena. Flamethrower, however, it's a prop.
Like, smoking guns used to.
Yeah, smoking gun.
Yeah,
but
Billy and Bart gun used to.
that was before,
Dolph's favourite tag team.
Yeah.
No, actually, no, he was waiting for
The Shoguns.
Waiting for the Shoguns. No, they beat the Dudleys once. Do you remember that?
No?
No, but Big Show and Billy Gunn do. He's got the printed photo. on his wall. God.
Anyway, the other big celebrity returns, which were actually brilliant, Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, and Steve Austin. Just because it meant I kind of got a dream match of Steve Austin and Rusev very briefly.
You were like going wow. We were sort of just enjoying like the famous guys kicking the shit out of the League of Nations, and you were going, but look, Rusev stomping Stone Cold Steve Austin. I was like, oh, that's a little moment for you. That's
Yeah,
funny.
it was great, and
He
Rusev
did take a good bump off the stunner. I've got
great
to say.
stunner bump.
Better than Xavier Woods, I would say, actually. Who I don't even think there's anything to say of that match, really, is there?
No, not really.
No, it was, the entrance was alright. Couldn't agree with the dressed as Power Rangers or Dragon Ball Z characters. It was Dragon Ball Z characters, but I never watched it, so. Yeah. And then they had a match, and then the thing afterwards happened, which was entertaining.
What was the thing afterwards? Oh, yeah, sorry.
The thing we're talking about,
thing
right?
I thought you meant after. I thought you meant after that. All right. I thought you meant the thing after the thing.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't remember what the thing after the thing and the thing was.
Also, Mick Foley's lost quite a bit of weight. He's looking a bit better nowadays. He's not hobbling as much.
Right. Presentation's everything, right? So he's looking a little bit better, but can I just point out, upstairs he's not all there.
Oh God.
I don't think we should get into it. He just wants it to be Christmas every day.
Yeah. Is there anything else we've got to say about WrestleMania?
No.
I don't think there's anything else
It
to
was
be
long.
said. It was long.
Oh, one more thing. I'm really happy Brie Bella had a nice retirement because it means that we don't have to watch her anymore.
Yeah, it was alright.
She's fine on Total Divas and stuff, but not actually wrestling.
Remember when her sister came out in a neck brace?
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
That was genuinely entertaining. And not in a I'm glad she's injured way, more like it reminded me of Bobby Heenan and Ric Flair, and heels always look good in neck braces.
I don't think she was supposed to be a heel.
No,
But then you watch Total Divas, so I would imagine that's
yeah,
pretty...
she's a bit of a dick on that.
Yeah. What?
She's a bit of a dickhead.
Oh,
all
okay.
the time, yeah.
Honestly, for a second there, I thought you said ridic, at which point I was just going to cancel the podcast completely. Yeah,
She should keep it going because literally there's never been a bad heel wearing a neck brace.
I don't think there's anything else to say. Anything you got?
Vince wore a neck brace, but he was trying to babyface himself.
He was
when he was
facing it out to the jury.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything wrong, according to the legal system. No.
He just came off his motorbike. And
So cheers, Nails. Thank you. Yeah. On that note, I think it's a good time to wrap it up. We didn't get the chance. We didn't get the chance to talk about NXT Takeover.
That's because you were too busy rambling about Vader's penis.
That is true. Yes, that was my main topic of conversation. You weren't sure about Dolph Ziggler. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll do a bit more on that because, frankly, we've been so negative on WrestleMania. It might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, I
to do.
actually enjoyed NXT.
Yeah, it might not be a bad idea
we'll
to do
leave
something
that.
positive and actually be, positive people for once. On that note, thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daryl.
Right.
And remember, facebook.com/Royal Grumble, and we'll talk to you soon.